That's what done.
Yes,
Slide
sir.
is with. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So last times we have completed the circuit switching. Circuit switching principles, their control signals, all the things we have discussed. And one thing is left that is not so important for circuit switching, but still you should know the routing. Routing is most important for packet switching, but when you discuss the routing, that times I'll give the hints. The circuit switching, since the routes are fixed, so the routing is not a problem. So we'll discuss the routing in details for packet switching. Anyway, let us start this the packet switching. In circuit switching, we have seen the resources are dedicated to a particular calls. So in circuit switching, we have seen it. Circuit switching, these things you keep in mind. Resources dedicated to a particular calls. To a particular call. Right. So for voice connections, it will have a high efficiency. Right. Maximum iteration would be there, because most of the times one party or other will be talking. So for voice communications, okay, voice connection you can have voice connections. Voice connections, high utilization will be there. High utilizations. High utilizations will be there. Voice connection, because one party or the other will be talking. But for data communications, or data connections, if the two parties, if they want the exchange of data through circuit switchings, so that it will be inefficient, because you see, suppose a computer is connected to a to a server, and that times most of the times the line will be idles. So that times it is inefficient. If we dedicated to the particular connections, then simply there will be wastage of resources. So for data connections, it is not efficient, right? So you should keep in mind. So for data connections, it is inefficient. Right? Because of this, the link is dedicated, so it is inefficient, right, for data connections. So the limitations, we can say limitations of this circuit switching. You see, number one, it deals with the constant the connections. I mean the transmissions at constant data rate. Constant data rate. Transmission takes place at constant. That means receiver and transmitter, they must have the same data rate. Right. This limits the utility of the network. It must have the constant data rate between the transmitter. In other words, you can say it is transparent, but it is the limitations of the circuit switchings. If the receiver transmitter, if they have different data rates, then it will be it cannot be used. Circuit switching concept cannot be used. Right. So that is one limitation. Second limitation is this. You see, in this case, okay, that is one things, and other thing is this. Other thing is the same things. The line is idle, since the connection is connection is dedicated. So this is the first. This is the one, and the other one it is there is a limitations in case of data connections. Inefficient, that is this limitation is the same as this one's. It is inefficient, right, for data connections, since the line will remain idle for most of the times. So that is the another limitations. The two basic limitations are there for circuit switching. One is it must be there must be constant data rate, right? I mean, transmitter receiver will have the same data rate, right? This will limit the utility of the network. Another thing is the if you consider the data communications, data transfer between two parties, that times it is inefficient because the line is dedicated. That cannot be, the link cannot be shared, the connection cannot be shared by the others, right? So these are the two basic limitations. These can be overcome by packet switchings. In packet switchings, what we have seen to some extent in packet switching, what we have seen earlier, packet switching, here the message, if long message is there, it is not transmitted as such. It is broken into series of packets. Here the data are transferred in the form of packets, and it packets contains the user data plus content informations. User data plus control informations. Control information, I mean, source, destination address, etc. Those things will be there. Control informations will be there. So user data plus content informations. These things will be there in case of packet switchings, right? I mean, here a message is transferred in the form of packets, and each packet contains the data plus the content informations. And if you see, if the transfer of packets from node to node or stations to stations, then at each node packet is received, it is stored briefly, and then it is forwarded to the next node. So these things are these problems will be overcome. So we'll see it. First we'll see the switching principle, then it will be clear how those things are overcome in packet switchings. And if you see, we have seen last examples, we have seen some network, we have seen it, remember these things as a station, one station is here, station A, and say here station B, station E is here. If they want to connect, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, we have seen it as these things. There you see here packets will be, station will send the packets to the node 4. So packets will be in queue in node 4, and next, depending on the availability of the link, then packets will be forwarded to the next node, and finally they will be collected at the node 6, that is the exit node. Then it will send to the destination E. So if you consider, but here you can see it here, each node, some processing delay would be there. It will be more clear when you see the actual packet switching concept, diagram or virtual circuit, that will see it. So since packets here you see message is transferred in the form of packets. So each packets will be stored here in a particular node. Then that packet will be forwarded to the next node, depending upon the availability of the connections, link failure, etc. I mean link or congestion, etc. It will be forwarded to the next node, and subsequently it will be reached to the destination E. So if you consider this concept in the form of packets, then you see efficiency, it was less efficient. It is not efficient, it is inefficient. It is inefficient. Data connection is inefficient. So it will be efficient in this case. Why it will be efficient here? That is because you see the link can be dynamically shared by many such packets, but here a particular call that is fixed. That's why it is you can have high utilization for voice, but data connection it is inefficient. It is inefficient, right? But since here the link is dynamically shared by many packets, so here that problem is overcome in case of packet switch networks, right? But in case of circuit switch network, since the node to node link is pre-allocated using say time division, generally synchronous time division multiplexings, So most of the times the link may be idles, right? That is because it is dedicated to a particular connections, right? So that's why it is inefficient in case of circuit switch network, but it will be efficient in case of packet switch networks, since the link is shared by many packets. This is one aspect. Second, you see, second limitation also, it is overcome in packet switching, in the sense that it can perform the data rate conversions. I mean, here two stations, say A and E, and even they will have different data rates. They can exchange packets, even they are having the different data rates. So that is the advantage of this, you can say advantage, or the problem of this constant data rate, that limitations of circuit switching can be overcome in case of packet switching networks. So these problems are overcome in packet switching network. Another advantage is this, you can see it here, you can say there are the advantages. Number one advantages, this is efficient. Second one, it is the different data rates. It can handle different data rates. Third one is this also, you can, a third advantage you can have it here. If the condition arises where traffic is heavy, I mean heavy traffic is there in the network, then some calls may be blocked in case of circuit switch networks. But in case of packet switch networks, still the packets can be accepted. Still packets can be accepted, but some delay would be there. But in the circuit switch networks, call will be totally blocked unless the load decreases. So that problem will not be there in case of packet switching. So it can handles traffic, heavy traffic efficiently. Heavy traffic conditions can be handled easily in this case in case of packet switching networks, right? And the fourth one also, another advantage you can have it in packet switch network, priorities. If a node has a number of packets, in this, the concept is this, I told you, packets will be in queue for each node, right? When if you consider the message transfer case in case of packet switch network, then you see packets will be queued in a particular node, but in this case, the higher priority packet can be transmitted fast. I mean, they can be transmitted with less delay than the lower priority packets. So, priorities can be provided to the packets. So that these are the advantages of the packet switch networks. So it is efficient. It can handle the data rates, different data rates. Also, it can handle heavy traffic conditions, and also it can give the priorities. So these are the distinct advantages of the packet switch networks. Now, this packet switch networks established using two principles. One is, I told you, one is datagram approach, another one is virtual circuit approach. So the two approaches are there for packet switch network. One is datagram approach, another one is the virtual circuit approach. Virtual circuit datagram approach. In datagram approach, here the packet is treated independently. Independent means there will be no reference to the packets that have gone earlier. Right. So see the diagrams, it will be more clear, the datagram approach. Suppose there are several nodes are there. This one. Let me draw the networks to be clear to you. This exit node. So this is the from stations, say from computer connected to computer to a server. Say here it is. The data is coming from the computers. And here there is a server. Okay. Here say packets like these things. One, two, three. They're the packets. 1, 2, 3 packets, etc. Then you see here the packets. There is no predetermined routes here in datagram approach. It can travels to any route. Of course, that will be decided by the availability of the link, congestions, etc. Different routes are there. Okay, so here at a certain instant, the packet 3, so it in these directions. Here it is packet 2, here it is, and here say it is packet 1. Right. They can move in somewhere here also. So it is at a certain instant. It can be 1, it can be 2, right, and it can be 3. They can travel this route like these things. Okay. So ultimately, here it is the responsibility of the exit node to make them in sequence. So here again, sequence will be maintained. One, two, three. I'm showing only one diagrams, but there will be different situations. Suppose 3 is moving here, 2 and 1 say moving, they are moving in these directions, or maybe here the whole 1, 2, 3 they move from this node to this node. Then 3 will be separated. 3 will move in these directions. 1 and 2 will move in this direction, like these things. So different situations are there. I'm just showing different situations in this case. So in this case, you see in datagram approach, each node, each node will choose the next node on a packet path. Based on, yes, yes, Someone is mentioning something. Someone wants to mention something. Please repeat. Please repeat. Anyone wants to say something? No. So here you see the node. A particular node will choose the next node. Depending upon the depending on the information received from the neighboring nodes, informations based on the traffic, regarding traffic conditions, line failure, etc. Line failure, etc. Congestions, etc. Those things are there. So based on these things, a node will choose the path for the next node for a particular packet. So the packets, you see it here, packets, though they will have the same destinations, but they do not, the packets, they will have same destinations, but they will not have the same route. They do not follow the same routes. So the packets do not follow same route. This thing is quite clear. They do not follow the same route, though they will have the same destinations. And it is the responsibility of the exit node to make them they will be out of sequence, obviously, and exit node will make them in original order before delivering them to the destinations, right? And also there may be case some of the packets, say any of the packet can be lost during transmissions, may be destroyed. So it is the responsibility or it is the task of the exit node to recover it. It may request for retransmission like these things. So it is the responsibility of the exit node how to recover it. And since in this technique the packet is treated independently, that's why the name is the datagrams approach, right? So this is one approach, datagram approach. Here the packets, they generally follow the different routes, right? Different routes for different packets, but different routes will be there, right? But in virtual circuit approach, the scenario is something similar to circuit switch, but it is different. In that case, you see same connections. If you just see it, same network, so in this case, you see in this case a predetermined route is first established among the nodes. And the packets will follow the same route. All the packets will follow the same route here. So at a certain instant, it can be somewhere here, say packet here, Sometimes it can be packet 2, 1 here, like these things, right? But they will all the packets will follow the same route, and ultimately they will be delivered to the destinations. So in this case, you see a pre-planned route. In this is the virtual circuit. Virtual circuit approach. In this case, a pre-planned route is here. It is based on pre-planned route, establish a pre-planned route before any packets are sent. And once the route is established, connection established, then all the packets follow the same route through the network. So that is the virtual circuit approach. Since the circuit, this term is used because it is very similar to circuit switch network. The route is fixed for the duration of the logical connections. So it is similar to the circuit switch network. That's why it is referred to as the virtual circuit. And each packet, in this case, each packet contains the virtual circuit identifier. Right, but as well as data. In this case, the packet contains virtual circuit identifier plus the data, user data. Right. So in this case, right, and one thing you should keep in mind. No, since the route is fixed, so here no routing decisions are required. No routing decisions are required here. But in this particular approach, each times the node will decide which route the packet should follow. So each times there is the requiring of routing decisions. But here, once the connection is established, there is no need of routing decision. But initially, called setup phase, I mean connection establishment phase, this is required. We'll compare these things, and then it will be more clear to you. So here, no routing decisions are required in this case. And another point is this: the station, any node, the link. See, any stations can have more than one virtual circuit. That means the node can be the node through which this virtual circuit considers. That node can be shared by many such virtual circuits. So this point is quite clear. So though the route is fixed, but it is not a dedicated path. You cannot say this is not a dedicated path, because as in circuit switching, the packet here still buffer at each node. In this case, the packet will be queued and buffered and queued for transmission to the other node. And the circuits, the virtual circuits, may share the use of the line. Right. So the any node can be node here. Many such virtual circuits can be established through any node. So you see, the major difference is here between the circuit switch concept and virtual circuit approach. Right. So for particular lines, many such say node to this line can be shared by many such virtual circuits. But that is not there. This is not the case for circuit switch approach. Circuit switch case, circuit switching, that link is totally dedicated, right? That cannot be shared by any other line, right? So this thing is here. So for you see, so once the route is fixed, route is determined, no further routing decision is required for the packets. All packets will follow the same circuit. And if the two, so for long message, if the two stations, if they want to transport data, exchange data over a longer period of times, that times the virtual circuit will be an advantage, will have advantage. The network may provide the sequencing, error control, etc. These things can be provided by the concept, by the virtual circuit approach. And you see, another advantage is this, uh, there is no need of routing decisions for each packet that will be existing for Datacom approach, right? So these things are there in case of virtual circuit approach. Routing decisions for each packet is not required in virtual circuit approach. But in Datagram approach, you can see it, I just mentioned, you see call setup phase is not required. Here you see for packet transmissions, this route should be established fast. Then packets will be transmitted. So there will be some delay will be there for the establishment of these connections. But there is no such call setup phase is required in case of Datagram approach, right? And also Datagram approach in this case, so no call setup phase is required in this case. Call setup phase required in this case, in case of Datagram approach. Also, it is more flexible. What is flexible? Flexible in the sense that if the congestion develops in a certain area, then the packets can follow the other area where congestion is absent, right? And there is no congestions. But with the use of virtual circuit approach, the packets will follow the predetermined route. So it is more difficult. It is more difficult to adapt congestions in virtual circuit approach. More difficult to adopt congestions. Congestions, there are different types of congestions. We'll see it. Congestions are there. We'll see it. We'll discuss it at the end of this packet switching. Right. Congestions can be various types. There are various methods are there to avoid those congestions. Anyway, so this virtual circuit approach, congestions problem, if congestion is there, then problem would be there for packet transmissions in case of virtual circuit approach. And third advantage is there. So this is the advantage. Another advantage in case of Datagram approach is there. Here you see it is more reliable. It is more reliable. It is more reliable. Why it is reliable? That is because if a particular node fails here, node failure is there, then all the virtual circuits that will pass through this particular node will be lost, right? But with Datacom delivery, if the node failure is there, it can follow some other route. So ultimately packets will be delivered, which is not possible in case of the virtual circuit approach. So that is the distinct advantage of this Datagram approach. But of course, Datagram approach disadvantage are also there. Say, I told you, if you have a long message or a longer period of times, if you want to transmit data transfer, that times this Datagram, the virtual circuit will be better, right? Because route is fixed, so transfer process will be faster than the Datagram approach. So these are the advantages, disadvantages of the virtual circuit approach and the Datagram approach. These are the most important points. I have touched all the important points. You must keep in mind. Those things are there. Another thing is this, in this approach, packet size. Packet size also matters for different cases. For packet size for virtual circuit or the Datagram approach. You see it here. what is the role of packet size? If packet size is large, then what will be the effect? And if packet size is less, then what will be the effect? So we'll consider longer packet as well as we'll consider smaller packets. Say for example, two stations we're considering X and Y, and two nodes X. Suppose station X transmits packets from packets to station Y through the nodes A and B. Two nodes are there. Say this is X, this is X, and these are the two nodes. These are the two nodes, and these are the stations. Two stations X, and this is Y, right? So you see it here. A, this is B. This is stations. This is node. This is B node. This is A node, and there are the two stations. Stations. So here you see showing that three packets, right? Three packets. Each packet. This is virtual circuit, say from station X to station Y. Each packet contains the 40 octets of data there, and packet, not only this data, there will be some control informations will be there. So let us say there are the three 40 octets plus 3 octets will be the control informations, right? That is beginning at the beginning of the packet. That is called header, right? So this is the case. In this case, you see it. If the entire message is sent as a single packet, of 43 octets, you see this is a whole message, not 3 packets. I'm not saying the same packet, whole message. It is a single packet, right? Single packet. This is seen at different. This is a timing diagrams. Different timing diagrams. So whole message, it consists of the 40 octets plus 3 octets, the control informations. So the packet is first transmitted to from X to node A. So this is the whole packet transmitted to stations to node A, right? When the entire packet is received, then A will transfer this packet to node B. This one second situations, second epoch you can say, and the third epoch after receiving the whole packet, then it will be transmitted to the station Y. So if you consider if you just neglect the switching times, we just neglect, I mean, the processing time, neglect the processing times for each node, then you see total transmission times in this case. Transmission time will be 43 each packet contains of 40 plus 3 control information, 3 packet, 3 octets, 40 octets plus 3 octets control informations, so 43 octets. So it will be into 3. Total transmission times will be 43 into 3 in octet times. That means it is 129. 129 octet times. Total transmission times. Right. Now consider the second situations where it is divided, packet is divided into 2. Take the divide the message into 2 packets consisting of 20 octets of the message, and but of course control information will be there. Control information will be 3 octets. Now we see what will be the transmission times in this case. So consider the second situations. This is a stations. This is station Y. Similarly, this is node A. This is node B, and this is this station Y. X, Y, A, B. So in this case, it is divided into 2. But here you see for each packet, it is divided into each packet. There will be 3 octets of control informations. So this is first it is a, in this case it do not wait. Little bit.
Sir, you're not audible.
Yes? No, I'm just drawing it. I'm
Yes,
audible?
Yes.
I am just drawing it. Unless we draw it, it will not be understandable. So just to understand these things, you have to draw the diagrams. I'm drawing the diagrams only. Actually, this is to this one. This position will be somewhere here. Here. Diagram is important here. That's why I'm drawing the diagrams. Okay. So you see it how it is reduced to. Now if you see the packet is divided. Each packet contains here this is not, I mean, this is a whole message. This is a whole message. It is now 40 octets plus 3 octets, 43. Now here 40 octets message divided into 20 octets plus 3 octets content informations are there. Right. I mean, this here it is. We can say 1, 2. Here complete 1, 1, 1. And here the message divided into 1, 2. Or content information will be there 1, 2, 1, 2. Right. Now you can see it here. In this case, this node A will not wait for the whole message to arrive. By the times you see, it will not wait for the packet 2 or to transmit this transmit the other transmit the data. Right. You see. This is 1, this is 2, this is 2. This is the whole message divided into 2. this is the whole message, and this is the whole message. So A will not wait for the whole message. Here you see it here. A has to wait for the times when the whole message is received. After that, it transmits to B. But here you see, after receiving the first one, it starts transmitting the packets. That is a difference between this scenario and this scenario. So in this case, you see, if you just calculate it, so it will be now 2. So in this case, 20 into 4, 20, 20, 20, so to 4. 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So total time will be now, it is 92. So in this case, you can calculate it, it will be 92 octet times. Or 92 octet times here in this case. So packet transmissions will be 92. Earlier it is 129 octet times. Now because of this this splitting in this you see transmission time is drastically reduced. So by breaking the message into smaller packets, you can save times. But of course, one thing you see it here. The control informations will be more. I mean, header will be more. So not necessarily if you smaller packets, you will get the benefit. But if the packets it is very small, then number of control informations will be quite large. So instead of getting the benefit, again more delay will be there. Right. So processing time will be more in those if it is very small. If the packet is very small, like these things, I'm just showing one scenario quickly. Just 1 minute. You see it here. This is one. This is stations, and this is node. This is node. This is stations. So in this case, you see it here. Suppose packet is divided into 10. 22. So suppose it is divided into 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And each times there will be, for each smaller packet, there will be control informations. You see it here. And so you see there will be transmission to other node. Like these ones. In this way will be there. You can see it here. It will not wait for the whole message to for any node. It will not wait for just like this one, this scenario. It will not wait for the whole message to arrive, and then it will transmit. As soon as you see the first packet is arrived, it will start transmitting the packet to the next node. So that is the case here. But in this case, you see, since if we divide the packets like these things, smaller packets, the more content information will be there. So instead of getting this benefit, there will be delay will be there because processing for smaller packets will be increased rather than reducing the delay. That is quite clear. So these things are just the packet size matters for the transport case. Okay, next time we'll see this the comparison of these things. These are the most important things: comparison of circuit switch, virtual circuit switch, and virtual circuit switch, virtual circuit switch, and datagram packet switch. So these three are most important in switch networks. For internet, I told you since the reliability is here, so datagram approach is widely used for internet workings, internet works, internet. So any questions? I'm just taking time. Any times one or two small questions you can ask. Any times, any questions? Any questions regarding these three approaches: circuit switch, datagram approach, virtual circuit approach. Any questions? Any questions?
No,
No, sir. Okay, yes.